Recording in progress.
So here, yes. Yes. So we are talking about, yes, we are talking about Python features. Almost we have seen most of the features, right? So yesterday we have seen Python is what platform independent. I said the programming languages are how many types here? Two types. One is platform dependent languages and one more is platform independent. And I said what is a platform is? Platform is nothing but is a software and which provides a runtime environment for developing and executing applications, right? So generally, which one is called as a platform? OS, right? Operating system is called as a platform, and operating system acts as an interface between the software as well as hardware, right? Example is like Windows, Linux. Oh, so all these are called as different operating systems, right? And this is what I said about platform dependent language. And this is about platform independent language. And I said even PVM and bytecode. And then we have discussed about extensible and embeddable. And it's even I said object oriented. So next is Python is a so dynamic, right? So one more is Python is a dynamic language. So we'll see the rest of the features will complete and we'll try to see Python installation and how to work with the Python. Okay. So Python is Python is okay dynamic. Python is a dynamic language. So here programming languages. So here programming languages two types. One is a static and one more is what? Dynamic. Programming languages are two types. One is a static and one more is a dynamic. One minute. Okay, so it is called as Python is a dynamic language, or the same thing it is called as Python is dynamically typed. Yes, Python is dynamically typed language. If it is a Unix flavor, Prim, Chrome OS, Flex. If it is a Unix flavor, then you can install it. Okay, is it that is Unix flavor, then you can install. Otherwise, no. So yes, Python is a dynamic language or dynamically typed language. So programming languages are two types. One is okay, statically typed language, and one more is dynamically typed language. So programming languages are how many types here? Two types. One is statically typed and one more is a dynamically typed. Yes. So what is the meaning of statically typed language? So here static means fixed, dynamic means not fixed. Okay. The meaning, English meaning of static is fixed and dynamic means not fixed. And when you're talking about typed is nothing but data types and variables. Data types and what is it? Variables. For example, if you are working with the programming languages like okay, C, C++, and one more is which one? Java. So these languages are statically typed languages. These are statically typed languages. Why these are called statically typed languages? Because see, every program required to reserve the space. Getting on it. Every program required to reserve the space. But how a program reserve the space? With the help of data types. How program reserve the space with the help of data types. Okay, data types. Data types. What is the need of data types? Data types are used to reserve to reserve what here space. Where it reserve the space in main memory. Because where you store the data in main memory so that you can perform certain operations. Where you are storing this data in main memory so that you can perform certain operations. So data types are used to reserve the space in main memory. Okay, main memory is nothing but what here? RAM. Main memory is nothing but what here? RAM. Not only that, for example, if you take there is a value called 10. What is 10 here? Literal. What is 10 here? Literal. Literal means a number, or literal is nothing but a value which never changed. Literal is nothing but a value which never changed. Is a constant. 10 is a constant. 10 is a constant. 1.5 is what again? Constant. Constant is nothing but a value which never change. If you want to change this 10, how can you change this 10? Can you change the value of 10? No. 10 is a 10 only. Is a constant. Is a constant which never changes. If you want to change the value of 10, what do you do it? If you want to change the value of 10, what do you do it? You store this value into what? Memory. You store this value into the memory. But how you store this value into the memory? By reserving some space. And how you reserve the space? With the help of data types. You'll say integer. What is integer here? Data type. And what is a here? Variable. So variable is nothing but named memory location. So this memory is given one name. What is the name of this memory? A. Variable means which changes. The value of variable can be changed, but the value of constant is never changed. You cannot change the 10. You cannot change 1.5, but you can change. Now, A is a variable, and A is a variable of which type here? Integer. So integer reserves, assume that integer reserves how many bytes? 2 bytes. So it reserves the memory of 2 bytes, and this memory is given one name. So what is the name of this memory? A. If I'm saying A equal to 10, A equal to 10 means now this 10 is stored in which memory location? A. Can I change the value of A? Yes. I cannot change 10, but I can change the value of A. I said A equal to 10. Then I said A equal to what? 20. So the value of A is, okay, changed from 10 to what here? 20. The value of A is changed from 10 to what here? 20. Correct or not? So, so data types are required. Why data types are required? Data types are required in order to reserve space. Okay, in order to reserve the space in which memory? Main memory. And that main memory is called as what here? RAM. Okay, that main memory is called as a RAM. Okay, yes. So, but when it comes to the statically typed languages, the variables always, the variables are bind with what here? Data type. There is a variable declaration. In statically typed languages, variable declaration is required. In statically typed languages, variable declaration is required. Means every variable bind with what here? Data type. Every variable is bind with what here? Data type. So A is a variable and integer is what? Type. So A is always hold which value? Integer value. But when it comes to the dynamically typed languages, okay, when it comes to the dynamically typed languages, in dynamically typed languages, there's no variable declarations. You can simply write A equal to what? 10. So, but are you declared A with the type of integer? Are you saying integer A? No, you have not declared. Without declaring, you're directly assigning 10 to what here? A. But in statically typed languages, first you have to declare and then you have to store. First you have to declare and then you have to store. But in dynamically typed languages, you can just assign or you can just create a variable by just assigning what? Value. If you are assigning, if you are assigning 10 to A, your Python reserve the space. Your Python reserve the space. Now, what is the name of this memory location? A. And what is the value of this A here? 10. Okay, suppose if I'm saying A equal to some 20. Okay, A equal to 20. Now here, when I'm saying A equal to 10, then what is the A type here? Integer type. A is which type here? Integer type. But if I'm saying A equal to 1.5, then A changed from integer to what? Float. Because is it any declaration is there here? No. There's no variable declarations, right? So that is the advantage of which one? Dynamically typed language, right? So this question might be asked like, what is statically typed and what is dynamically typed? See here, Python, Python dynamic. See here, dynamically typed. Python dynamically typed. So Python is both strongly typed and dynamically typed language. Strongly typing means that variables do not have a type and the type matters when perform the operations on what? Variables. Dynamic type means the type of the variable is determined only during which one? Runtime. Compiler doesn't know this variable is which type because there's no what? Declarations. There's no declarations. There's no declaration of what here? Variables. Okay. So that is the meaning of it here. Okay. Yes. Let us see this one. Okay. In statically typed programming languages required. Yes. Required variable declarations. Required variable declarations. In statically typed programming languages required variable declarations. Which class? They don't know classroom also. Classroom faculty. Daily they'll come to the class. मेरा फेस देखे तो भी मालूम होता ना उन लोग ए फैकल्टी है नहीं बोल के. हाँ. So statically typed programming languages required variable declarations. Variable declarations means variables are bind with. Variables are bind with what here? Data type. Okay, this variable is variables are bind with data type. The type of variable doesn't what changes. The type of variable doesn't what here changes. It is fixed. It doesn't changes, right? Example is okay. Example is which one is example? C, C++, and one more is a Java, right? But in dynamically typed programming languages, variables are not bind with any what? Not bind with one data type. Not bind with one data type. So type is defined during during execution of what program during execution of program are based on based on value. During execution of program are based on value. For example, if you see this one, okay, if you see this one, now here, if I'm writing integer a, so immediately it is given which error? Syntax error. Okay. But I'll say, yeah, a equal to 10. A is which type here? Integer. If I write a equal to 1.5, a is which type here? Float. So type is fixed or no? If it is holding integer, the behavior of a is what? Integer. If it is holding float, the behavior of a is what here? Float. It's not fixed. It is not fixed and it is not bind with one type, right? So that is what you mean by dynamic, right? That is what you mean by dynamic, right? So then next one is Python is Python is high level programming language. Next one is Python is what? High level. So you understood this dynamic, but actually dynamic is a feature which is inherited from scripting languages. This dynamic feature is inherited from which languages? Scripting. You have a scripting language like JavaScript. Okay, JavaScript, Perl, VB script, all these are what? Scripting languages. And most of the scripting languages are what? Dynamically typed, right? So what is the advantage of this? So as a programmer, you don't require to think about what? Data types. As a programmer, you don't require to think about data types and declarations. That is taken care by whom? Python itself, right? And next one is Python is high level language. And Python is okay. Python is high level. Python is high level programming language. So why is saying it is high level language? Because all high level languages are all high level programming languages are all high level programming languages are in simple English. Okay, now who understand the Python programmer, but not understand by computer, right? Computer understand which language? Binary language. But you are writing a program in which language? Python. So Python is like English or not? Yes. You are using a simple terms. For example, there is a print. So print is an English word or not? Yes. Okay, there is an input. Input is an English word or not? Yes. All these are English words, right? So print is one word, input is one word. All these are English words. Getting on? Now using this, you are trying to perform certain operations. Using this, you are trying to perform certain now the person who knows English, he can able to work with what? Python. The person who knows English, he can able to work with what? Python, right? Yes. Not only that, all high-level languages are not only in simple English, these are portable. Okay, these languages are what here? Portable languages. Portable means these are portable languages. Portable means you can write the programs irrespective of what hardware. Okay, so you can write the programs on mini computer, mainframe. Okay, and you can write on microcomputer, any device you can write the programs in what? Python. It is not hardware dependent. These are hardware independent. So using Python, we can develop applications irrespective of, okay, irrespective of which one? Hardware. Using Python, you can develop applications irrespective of hardware, or you can say it is called as which one? Portable, right? So this is the next feature, which is called as which one? High level, right? Next one is Python is which language? Interpreted language. Python is interpreted language. So interpreted, but actually Python is compiled as well as what? Interpreted. Should not say Python is only interpreted. Okay. Python is having two translators. One is compiler is there and one more is interpreter is there. So Python is both compiled as well as what? Interpreted. So what is the meaning of this, right? What is the meaning of this? Because to achieve this platform independency, okay, to achieve this platform independency, it is try to use two translators. One is compiler and one more is what? Interpreter. See, all these questions are asked. These are not features, but also interview related questions. Okay, this is also interview related questions. Here, Python interpreted. Is Python, okay, interpreted language? See here, is Python is interpreted or compiled? See here, question is like this. Is Python is interpreted or compiled? Interpreted, which means the source code of Python program is converted into bytecode, then is executed by whom? Python virtual machine. So, but see here, Python is interpreted language, which means the source code of Python program is converted into which code? Bytecode. But who's converting into a bytecode? Compiler. Who's converting into a bytecode? Compiler. And who's doing the interpretation of this? Python virtual machine. And here Python virtual machine contain what? Interpreter. Who's having an interpreter? Python virtual machine. So all these are frequently asked questions. Now, is Python fully interpreted or compiled? Here, Python is both. See here, Python is both compiled as well as interpreted, which means when run the Python code, it first compiled and then interpreted line by line. It means Python is only interpreted or both? Both. It is having compiler as well as what? Interpreter. Is Python based on interpreters here? Python is a high-level language designed to do a task like, so C Python interpreter, which translate the Python code into, yes, Python gives a, yes. But what is exactly the meaning of this here is, so Python is, yeah, anyway, we discussed already this, right? In platform independency, right? So Python is interpreted programming language. So which means, okay, which means Python source code is converted. Python source code is converted into bytecode by which one? Python compiler, and this bytecode is translated into machine code, line by line, line by line, line by line, by whom? By PVM. So PVM, what PVM is having here? What PVM is having here? Interpreter. What PVM is having? Interpreter. What is PVM stands for? Python virtual machine. What PVM stands for? Python virtual machine, right? So here, this compilation and interpretation taken place at once. This compilation and interpretation is taken once only. Once means, what is the meaning of this is, for example, if you take this, for example, if you take this is a, okay, this is a Python program. The Python program, which is called as which code? Source code. This is a source code. And this is having number of lines. Okay. So there is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So how many lines of code is there here? 5 lines. And this code is given to which one? Compiler. This code is given to which one? Compiler. So what compiler is doing? What compiler is doing? Compiler is generating which code here? Bytecode. Compiler is generating the bytecode, and this bytecode is translated to which code? Executable machine code by whom? PVM. So here you have an interpreter. There is an interpreter, and who is having this interpreter? Okay, this interpreter is held by. Okay, this interpreter is held by which one? PVM. Okay. So what will happen here is it will take one line. So it will take one line. See here. It will read one line and it convert this line into which code? Bytecode. And this bytecode is interpreted by whom? PVM. And this interpreter generates which code here? Executable machine code. This interpreter generates which code? Executable machine code. And this machine code execute and gives a result. This gives a result. Now, who is giving the result here? Machine. But it is converting into which code here? Machine code. It converts into which code here? Machine code. But who is converting into a machine code? Interpreter. So it means line by line compilation and interpretation is done. Line by line compilation as well as what? Interpretation is done. Compilation and interpretation is taken at one place. Compilation and interpretation is taken at what? One place. So it takes a line, one line, compile it, and then immediately what? Interprets it. Okay, take one line and compile it, and then what? Interpretation is done. Take one line, compilation, and what? Interpretation. And now, yes, compilation and interpretation is taken at one place, line by line. Because of that, you are saying it as which language? Interpreted line. Because interpreter translates and execute how? Line by line. Interpreter translates and execute how? Line by line. It doesn't translate the whole program. Interpreter doesn't translate what? Whole program. But compiler translate what? Whole program. But in this case, compilation and interpretation is taken at one place. Compilation and interpretation is taken at what? One place. It read one line. And then immediately do what? Interpretation. It take another line and immediately it is doing what? Interpretation. It take another line, immediately will do what? Interpretation and execution. So here compilation and interpretation is taken line by. Here compilation and interpretation is taken what? Line by line. Hence you'll say Python is which language? Interpreted language. Because of that you are saying Python is what? Because interpreter translates and execute how? Line by line. Line by line. So compilation and interpretation is taken at what? One time. Means it takes one line and compile it. When it compiles, it generates which code? Bytecode. And this bytecode is given to whom? PVM, which is called as interpreter, which converts this into which code? Executable machine code. And take another line, and then compiles it, and then what? Interprets and generate which code? executable machine code. So compilation and interpretation both are taken at what? One place, that is line by line. Because of that, you are saying Python is which language? Interpreted language. Because of that, you are saying Python is a interpreted language. Please just to try to understand. But Python uses how many translators? Two translators. One is compiler and one more is what? Interpreter. Because this compilation and interpretation is taken at line by line. Because of that, you are saying it as which language? Interpreted language. Please try to understand this. Okay, compilation and interpretation is taken at one time, line by line. Because of that, you are saying it as which language? Interpreted language. Okay, now, right. So all these are the features of using which language? Python language. Okay, so if question is asked what is Python, then you can add all these features. Python is what? High level. Python is high level, object oriented, dynamic, interpreted, extensible, okay, embeddable, then what? Extensible, embeddable, platform what? Independent, platform independent. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes. Yes. Okay. Large standard, large what? Standard libraries and open source, free and open source, source programming language. Programming language. Python is simple, high level. Okay, simple, high level, object oriented, dynamic, interpreted, extensible, embeddable, platform independent, large standard libraries, and free and open source programming language. But rather than simply saying Python is a programming language, you can say this definition. Rather than simple saying Python is a programming language, you can just tell this definition, right? So simple, high level, object oriented, dynamic, interpreted, extensible, embeddable, platform independent, large standard libraries, and free and open source programming language. The next. So next we'll talk about Python. Python what? Softwares. Python softwares. Okay, within this, first we'll see Python software versions. Python software versions. So Python comes in 3 versions. Actually, Python comes in 3 versions. 3 versions of Python are there. One is Python 1, and second one is Python 2, and third one is Python 3. So Python 1, Python 2, and Python 3. How many versions of Python are there? 3 versions of Python are there. Python 1 version, Python 2 version, Python 3 version. You'll say now in mobile you find series. 1 series, 2 series, 3 series, 4 series, like that, right? In mobiles you find series, right? Which series you are using? Okay, there somebody asked, right? Which mobile series you are using? Like that, there are 3 versions of Python are there. It means you can say Python language comes in how many versions? 3 versions. Actually, one language comes only in one version. They keep on doing changes. Language comes in one version only. They keep on doing what? Changes. But when it comes to Python, Python is available in how many versions? 3 versions are there. This language is having 3 versions. That is Python 1, Python 2, and one more is Python 3. Okay, it means there are three types of Python languages out there. It means Python 1 instructions are different. Python 2 instructions are different. Python 3 instructions are what? Different. You know Python 3, can you work with Python 2? No. You know Python 2, can you work with Python 3? No. Because these are three different types of Python languages. These are three different types of Python languages. Each language version having its own syntax. But Python 1 is what? Outdated. Python 1 is outdated and Python 2 is also outdated. Nobody is using it. So industry currently using which version of Python language? Python 3. Okay, which version of Python they are using? Python 3. So Python 1 and 2 not available in the market. And even Python people are not providing any updates. Python people are not providing any updates of Python 1 and Python 2. They stopped and they say that don't use Python people. What they said is don't use Python 2 and Python 1 because we don't give any support. We don't give any updates. We don't give any updates. We don't give any support. If they don't give any updates, will it companies users? No. They need to migrate from Python 2 to what? Python 3. So most of the companies already migrated from Python 2 to what? Python 3. Because there's no compatibility between Python 2 and Python 3. Python 2 programs you cannot run in what? Python 3. Python 3 programs you cannot run in what? Python 2. What do you have to do? Rewrite the code which is written in Python 2 into what? Python 3. Because instructions are completely different. Syntaxes are completely different. For example, in Python 2, suppose Python 2 is there. In Python 2, there is a function called raw input. Okay, there is a function called raw input for reading value from keyboard. If you want to input value from keyboard, you are using one function called which one? Raw input. But when it comes to the Python 3, you are using one function called which one? Input. Is it instructions in Python 2 and Python 3 both are same or different? Different. For example, in Python 2, print is a statement. You'll say print hello. This is a syntax in Python 2. But in Python 3, you have to say print is a function. You have to write within parentheses and you should say what? Print hello. Is it the syntax of Python 2? Will it work in Python 3? No. For example, in Python 2, there is an integer, there is a float, there is a long data types. But when it comes to the Python 3, there is only integer. There is only integer and what is that? Float. There is no long. Getting on? It means completely language is different. Python 2 language and Python 3 language completely what? Different. So there is no compatibility between Python 2 and what? Python 3. There's no compatibility from Python 2 to Python 3. It means Python 2 programs you cannot run in what? Python 3. And Python 3 programs you cannot run in what? Python 2. Not possible here, right? So that is what is a difference between Python 2. So Python 1 and Python 2 are outdated. The companies are not using, and even Python people stopped giving updates in Python 2. And they said that don't use Python 2. We are not giving any support. They are not giving any support or new changes. They are not doing in Python 2. They stopped it. And they said that whatever projects are there in Python 2, just migrate to which one? Python 3. Because they'll be giving long-term support to what? Python 3. So Python 1, 2, 3 are called which releases? Major releases, major versions. What is 1, 2, 3 is called here? Major. Major versions. Python here 1, 2, 3 are called major versions. Python 1, Python 2, okay, Python 3. Python 3 are called major versions, means major changes. When they do lot of changes, when they do lot of changes in the language, they release one new version of language. Lot of changes completely. Lot of changes, when they do it, they release what? Major changes means lot of changes. Completely different. Completely different. Now that is one version, two is one version, and three is what? Another version of which language? Python language. But which version are you learning? Python what? 3. Which version are you learning? Python 3. But this is not available. Python 1 and 2 is not available. And Python 3, what is the current version in Python 3? Current version of Python is 3.11.2 or 3, but actually 3.11. 3, what is a 3? What is a 3? Major version. What is 11? Minor version. I mean, small changes within the 3. Minor means small changes within the 3. They keep on doing some changes in 3 and release with what? Another version. 3.11 is a minor version. And 3.11. Suppose 2. This is called which version? Micro version. Micro version means changes in 3.11. Small changes in 3.11. Micro means small changes. Okay. Micro means what here? Small changes. Now, what is a 3 here? Major version. What is 11 here? Minor version. What is 2 here? Micro version. Now you can see that. Just open www.python.org. You can see your downloads. Okay, you can see all releases. What is the current release? Python 3.11.2. So 3 is a major, 11 is a minor, and 2 is what? Micro version, right? So this is a current version, what you are learning. Okay, in one system, you can have 3.10 and 3.11. Okay, you may develop projects in 3.10. You may develop projects in what? 3.11. So you should not say 3.11 is the updated version of 3.10. Okay, if you suppose you install 3.10, if I install 3.11, what will happen? Is it 3.10 is updated with 3.11? No, it will try to install how many softwares? 2 softwares. One is 3.10 and one more is 3.11. Because you may develop the projects in 3.10 or you may develop the projects in what? 3.11. Suppose in my system 3.11.1 is there, but if I install 3.11.2, 11.2 is what here? Updated. Updated version of which one? 3.11.1. So micro version is what? Updated. But minor version is not updated. Means it will not update it, but it will try to install as another version of software. It will install as another version of what? Software. Now, suppose my system is having 3.10. Are getting on not what I'm telling? In my system, 3.10 is there. What will happen if I install 3.11? Is it 3.10 is updated with 3.11? No, it will install how many types of versions? 2 types of versions. That is 3.10 and 3.11. Because already you develop project in 3.10, and if it is updated to 3.11, so then what will happen? It will work still, because there is a compatibility between the minor versions, between the versions of the same major version. Compatibility is there. 3.10 programs can be run in 3.11. Yes. Is it 3.11 programs can be run in 3.10? Yes. So there is forward compatibility and there is what? Backward compatibility. There is forward compatibility and there is also backward compatibility. Getting on that? Okay. Yes. But the current version of Python is 3.11.2. Right. Then how to download and install the Python software, right? So how to download and install Python software, right? So yes, You can download this Python software from www.python.org. This is a website. Python software can be downloaded and installed from the following website. Python software can be downloaded and installed from the following website. It's downloaded and installed from the following website. Yes. So what is that website? Is www.python.org, right? So here, yesterday, just now I uploaded all previous class videos here. Just here. Now this is a class code. If you are not there in classroom, so just join in the classroom. Just now I uploaded all the videos, previous class videos. Okay. So Python is not started, but if you want to revise it, okay, you can revise it. You can see these are 5 classes video just now I uploaded. Okay. So last 5 classes anyway, first class nothing is there. And these 4 classes where we started actually subject. Okay. Just go through these videos, right? 2, 3, 4 and 5. Till yesterday I uploaded. Till yesterday all the videos are uploaded. Okay. Today's videos also I'll upload it. Okay. Yes. Now this is a class code, Google Classroom code. Those who are new, they can join in this class with this classroom code, Google Classroom code, right? Yes. And till yesterday, I uploaded the notes. The notes are there from the beginning onwards, right? All the notes are there from the beginning onwards. Okay. Okay, fine. Now, how can you download? Just type www.python.org and click on downloads and select which one? All releases. Select all releases. So I'll just copy all these steps so that you can install the Python software. Okay. Now here, what you have to do is you have to click on which one? Downloads. So downloads, and in downloads, you have to select which one? All releases. Select all releases. And this is the website. So www.python.org, right? Yes. So this is a website here from where you are downloading it, right? Yes. Yeah, select this one. This is how it is. Downloads. So once you click on downloads and all releases, now what you can find here, different versions here, 3.11. So when there is, when it is released, okay, when it is released, first release, when? 24th, when it is here, 2022, 3.11 first, 24/10, 2022, they released it, 3.10, 3.11, okay, yes. Now end of support is up to what year? 2027. So each minor release, they give support how many years? 5 years. End of support is how many years? 5 years. They give the updations and everything. How many years they'll give? 5 years they'll give. Okay, now you can see 2021 10/4. Okay, how many years again? 5 years, right? So they keep on giving updations and changes. And if there is major changes, they release one more. 3 point what? 12. They release another one, which is 3.12, right? If more number of changes are there, they may release what? Python 4. Okay, completely if they are doing some changes, they release what? Python 4. Okay, then just click on download Python 3.11.2. But this is on which operating system? All right, this is which operating system? Windows. Okay, because my operating system is what? Windows. Okay, then it will show you download Python 3.11.2 related with what? Windows. Or you can select here Windows, Linux, Mac, and other operating systems. Other operating systems. Okay, so there are other operating system. Now Python for which one? AIX. AIX is HP. Okay, AIX. And Python for which one? IBM. Python for which one? iOS. Python for which one? OS 390. Python for which one? RASCOS. And Python for Solaris. Like this, you find for different environments or not? Yes. Okay. So almost all operating systems, you can install the Python software and develop the applications, right? Okay. So after clicking on download all releases, you find this one. Just click on download. So what is the next screen you'll get is this one. So what you have to do, just click on download. Okay, just click on download Python 3.11.2. Click on this, download 3.11.2. 3.11.2. Now what it is showing, like it is just giving all this, okay, specifications. And after that, see here, what are the changes in 3.11? See here, exception with what? Notes, and faster what? Python. And exception, what is that? Groups and except, okay, and typing improvements, okay, and annotated what here? Tracebacks. And one more is TOML in the standard library. So all these are the changes which are done in which one? 3.11. So here you can see the changes which are done in 3.11, right? Yes. Now just come down and here you can see files. You can see the files. Now you need to download which one? Windows installer. You have to download which one? Windows installer. Windows installer. How many are there? Windows which installer? 32-bit. And Windows which installer? 64-bit. And Windows installer for which processor? ARM processor. Okay. So 3 are there. Windows installer for 32-bit. Windows installer for 64-bit operating system, and Windows installer for which processor? ARM, right? Then here I'm selecting Windows installer for which one? 64-bit. Okay. Yes. Now you have to download. Just click on this Windows installer 64-bit. If your operating system is 64-bit, you have to download 64-bit. If your operating system is 32-bit, you have to download which one? You have to download which one? 32-bit. How can you find out? Is it your operating system is 64-bit or 32-bit? How can you find out your operating system is 64-bit or 32-bit? Just go to, what is this? This PC. this PC and select the properties. Windows edition, processor. What is this? System type. Which one? 64-bit operating system. How can you find out? Is it 64-bit or 32-bit? Go to this PC or PC and select which one? Properties. If your operating system is 32-bit, you have to download which one? 32-bit. If your operating system is 64-bit, download which one? 64-bit. On 64-bit operating system, you can install 32-bit software. But on 32-bit, you cannot install which one? 64-bit, right? Okay, but to install this Python 3.11, you required higher version of Windows 7. Higher version of Windows 7. Higher version means it doesn't work on Windows 7. This Python from Python 3.8 onwards, from Python 3.8, Python 3.8 onwards, okay, Python 3.8 onwards, it support what? Windows 7 higher versions, means you can install from Windows 8, Windows 10, but you cannot install on Windows 7. Okay, if you want to install on Windows 7, you have to download and install Python 3.7. If you want to work on Windows 7, you have to install Python 3.7. But from Python 3.8, 3.9, 3.10, 3.11, you required Windows higher version, greater than 7 version, greater than 7 version. Remember this. Okay, right. Then once this is done, yes. Once this is, now I just click on this download here. Just click on download installer. It doesn't take much time. Now its downloading is completed. Just click on this Python 3.11.2. Yes. So once you click on this, it's asking open file. You want to open this file? I'll say what? What I'll say? Run. When I say run, it's saying upgrade to Python 3.11.2. It means when it shows upgrade, if it is already having 3.11, it means my system is having 3.11.1. My system is having 3.11.1. Now it's saying that you want to upgrade to what? 3.11.2. Getting or not? Okay. Otherwise, it will ask you to install. Suppose I'll delete. Suppose from my system, I try to uninstall the Python and I'll try to install it again. Okay, now. Yes. What I'll do is I'll try to uninstall and install it again for you. Yes. So what is there in my system? 3.11.1. I uninstall. I just remove this. And Python is free. You don't require any money to purchase this Python software. So Mac, if possible, I'll tell you. Okay. Yes, because my system doesn't have a Mac. Yes. So uninstallation of Python is completed now. Okay, uninstallation of Python is what? Completed. Now next is So already we downloaded, right? Where you can find in downloads. What is it? Python, right? Python, yes. So down, I think. Yeah, this is Python 3.11.2, right? I double click this and click on which one? Run. Now is it showing update or install? Install. Because my system doesn't have Python 3.11. Because my system doesn't have Python 3.11. Now it's saying install now. Okay, so where it is installing in users, NIT, app data, local, programs, Python 3.11, right? So before installing, just select this option. What is the option here? Add. Add python.exe to path. Why you are adding this python.exe to the path? In order to execute Python programs from anywhere. If you set the path, you can able to execute Python programs from anywhere, irrespective of location where your program is exists. Okay. So select this option. Please select this option. What is the option? Add python.exe toward path. Select this option, add python.exe to path. After selecting this option, click on what? Install now. Click on install now, right? Yes. Now what I'm doing is, so select this option. So select this option here. Yes. Select this option and click on which one? Install now. So click on install now, right? So this is the next after downloading. This is after downloading and when you click on install, right? So after selecting this, now click on install now. If you want to change this location, now what is the default location? Users, NIT, app data, local programs, Python and Python 3.11. If you want to change it, then use which one? Customize installation. Otherwise, just click on what? Install now. Yeah, now you can see the setup was successful. Installation of Python is completed or not? Yes. So once it is done, yes. Next is, now with the Python software, what will you get? You install Python software, right? Python software provides, what it provides? Yes, Python software provides, Python software provides, one is, it will provide one editor, it will provide one editor, or it will provide one editor. What is the name of the editor is? It will provide one editor called IDLE. What is the name of the editor? IDLE. IDLE stands for integrated. IDLE stands for integrated development learning environment. Integrated development learning environment is called IDLE. What is IDLE is called as here? Editor. As a code editor. If you want to work with the Python, what you required? One editor or not? Yes. Technically, it is called as which one? IDE. What is IDE? Stands for Integrated Development Environment. It's nothing but code editor. This is nothing but, see, this is called as which one? IDLE. This is called as which one? IDLE. See here, IDLE is the editor in which you can work with what? Python. It is called as IDLE is called as what here? IDE. Technically, you don't say editor, but instead of that, you'll say which one? IDE. What is IDE? Stands for Integrated Development Environment. So this is used for writing the programs or not? Yes. What is the name of the IDE? Alright, what is the name of the IDE? IDLE. IDE, IDLE, both are same. Huh? No. Name of the IDE is what? IDLE. What is the name of the editor? IDLE. IDE is nothing but what? Editor. What is the name of the editor? IDLE, which stands for Integrated Development Learning Environment. It means, is it used for developing projects or learning? Tell me, is it ideally is used for developing projects or learning purpose? It is not used for developing projects. It is only for learning purpose, but it is not used for developing what? Projects. But to develop the projects, you require separate environment or not? Yes, like you use PyCharm, Jupyter, Spider, okay, Google Colab, all these are other IDEs, right? But when you install the Python software, what do you get? One editor. And what is the name of the editor? IDLE. And not only that, you'll get Python what? Compiler. And you also get which one? PVM. And you get which libraries? Standard libraries. You get standard libraries which are required to write which programs? Python programs. But you don't get application specific libraries. Application specific means I want to develop data science applications. For data science applications are required which libraries? Data science libraries. Is it data science libraries comes with the Python software? No, I have to install data science libraries separately. Like NumPy, Pandas. No, suppose I want to develop a web application, then I have to install web application libraries separately. Because with the Python software, you'll get only which libraries? Standard libraries. And the standard libraries are called language specific libraries, right? And not only that, you also get some tools. You also get some tools. Okay, tools like what? Pip. Pip is nothing but Python preferred installer program. It is used for installing libraries. If you want to install the libraries, you'll be using the tool called which one? Pip. And you also get Python debugger. Okay, it is for debugging which one? Application. It is used for debugging what here? Application. Debug. Bug is nothing but error. Debugging is nothing but finding what? Error. Tracing the error. That can be done by using which one? Debugger, right? And pip is nothing but preferred installer program. Is a tool which is used for installing what? Libraries. If I want to work with the data science, I should install which library? NumPy, pandas. How can I install this NumPy pandas? By using the tool called what? Pip. And not only that, you also get Python. You also get what? Python shell. You also get one program called which one? Python shell. So all this comes with what? Python software. What Python software provides? What Python software provides? Editor. What is the name of the editor? IDLE. IDLE stands for Integrated Development Learning Environment. It is editor where you can write the programs, compile the programs, execute the programs, debug the programs, everything you can do in one window. Can you write a Python program in Notepad? You can write it, but you cannot run. Because Notepad is only which editor? Text editor. Notepad is which editor? Text editor, where you can write it. But is it Notepad will provide any environment for running the Python program? No. So to write and execute Python programs, you require which editors? Python editors. Yes or no? But one editor is provided by Python software, and that is what? IDLE. But you have other IDs also. Other IDs. These are other IDs. Suppose I said, IDLE is only for learning purpose, but not for developing projects. If you want to develop the projects, you require separate environment or separate editor. You have to install separately that. On the top of which software? Python software. There is an editor called which one? PyCharm. There is an editor called which one? PyCharm. PyCharm is there. Okay, there is an editor called Spider. There is an editor called which one? Jupyter. Jupyter Notebook. Okay, Jupyter Notebook or Jupyter. There is a editor called which one? Google Colab. Getting or not? So Google Colab. Even you can work with which one? You can also work with which one? VS Code. All these are other IDs. These are other IDs by using which you can develop which projects? Python projects. But IDLE is not preferable for developing what? Projects. But PyCharm is a Python software. Tell me here, is it PyCharm is a Python software? Tell me, is it PyCharm is a Python software? Is it PyCharm is a Python software? No, PyCharm is not Python software. PyCharm is what? Editor. PyCharm is not a Python software. PyCharm is an editor. And this editor required which software? Python software. All IDs should be installed on the top of which one? Python software. All IDs, first you have to install Python software, and then you have to install which one? Editor. Without software, this editor doesn't work. On the top of Python software, you have to install which one? IDs. On the top of Python software, you have to install what? IDs. Right. Yes. Not only that, there is Python distributions out there. So there are Python distributions provided by Python people. See, all these are Python softwares. I'm talking about Python softwares here. I'm talking about Python softwares. Okay. Yes. Now you can download and install the Python software. And when install the Python software, you'll get all the things. And this Python software provide one editor or IDE, which is only used for learning purpose. For developing projects, you have to use other editors. And other editors are what? PyCharm, Spider, Jupyter, Google Colab, and one more is VS Code. But to make the application developer job easy, there is Python distributions out there. What is Python distribution is? Python distribution is Python software bundle. See, Python distribution is a Python software bundle is a software bundle. What it is having? It is having Python software. It is having which one? Python software, and it will provide some. It will provide some IDs, and it will provide which libraries? Application specific. Okay, application specific. Application specific which one? Libraries. So what is Python distribution? Is a Python distribution is a Python software bundle. What it contain? Python software and IDs and application specific libraries. Example for Python distributions is, okay, there is a distribution called which one? Anaconda. There is a popular Python distribution is there. What is the name of that distribution? Anaconda. What will happen when you install the Anaconda? What is Anaconda? Is not language. Okay, Python is a language. Anaconda is what here? Python distribution. What Anaconda is having? Python. And it is also having IDs. And it is also having application specific libraries. Means when I install Anaconda, what will I get? Tell me here. If I install Anaconda, which one is installed? Python software is installed. If I install Anaconda, Python software is installed, and it is also installed library IDs like which one? Spider. It is also installed ID. What do you call it as? Yes, ID called which one? Jupyter. And it is also provide some data science and machine learning libraries. It also installed data science and ML what? Libraries. It means Anaconda will provide the environment for developing which projects? Data science and machine learning, right? When you install Anaconda, what you'll get? When you install Anaconda, what you'll get? Python software only. But along with that, it will install Spider, Jupyter, data science and machine learning libraries. It means if you install the Python software, you'll get only Python libraries. Which libraries? Standard libraries, but you don't get which libraries? Application specific libraries. But if I install the Anaconda, I get the libraries related with what? Data science and machine learning. So Python come up with so many distributions. Okay, bundle. It is just like a bundle, software bundle. If you install this, you'll get complete software for developing one type of application. Right? Anaconda is one of the popular distribution for data science and what? Machine learning. For data science and machine learning, but you also have other distributions. If you see other distributions here, you can see alternative implementations. And here you can see active state, active Python, Python XY, WinPython, Conceptive Python SDK, Enthought CanPy, and PyIMSL Studio, Anaconda Pythons here. A full Python distribution for data management, analysis, and what? Visualization of larger data sets. Active state, active Python, commercial and community version included which modules? Scientific module. If you want to develop scientific application, if you want to develop which application? Scientific application, you required which libraries? Scientific libraries. Is it Python software will provide scientific libraries? No. Then what I have to do? First I have to install Python, then I have to install which libraries? Scientific libraries. But if I install active state, active Python, it will install which libraries? Scientific libraries, and it also install which software? Python software. Is a ready-made, means you don't require to install the libraries. You don't require to install the libraries separately. You don't require to install the libraries separately. If you install this bundle, is a bundle, right? Bundle means like Maggie. Everything is available. Okay. Everything is available. What do you have to do? You have to prepare. Every ingredients and everything it will provide. But if I install Python software, only noodles will come. To prepare Maggie, you should take all ingredients separately or not? Yes. Getting on or not? You have to take all ingredients separately. But here everything is put in one packet. That packet is what here? Bundle. Getting on or not? Okay, just to try to understand this. Now these are different Python distributions are there. And one of the popular distribution is what here? Anaconda. Okay. Yes. Yes. This is clear, right? Okay. And I said Python flavors are there. Python flavors like Jython, Iron Python, PyPy, MicroPython. All these are what? Python flavors, right? Then next, how to work with the Python now. Okay. So we install Python. Okay. Then how to work with the Python. But before working with the Python, you should know some fundamentals or not. Yes. You are a Python developer and Python developer, okay, Python developer is there. Python developer work with the Python in different modes. Python developer work with the Python in different modes. So there are two modes out there. Python developer work with the Python in two modes. Python developer work with Python in two modes. Now, most of the times data science people work in one mode and application developer work in one mode. So total how many modes are there here is two modes are there. One is called as interactive mode. One is called as interactive mode and one more is called as which mode? Scripting mode, or same thing is called as which one? Programming mode. So Python developer work with the Python in how many modes? Two modes are there. So most of the data science people work in which mode? Data science people work in which mode? Interactive mode. But application developer work in which mode? Programming mode. So we'll talk about this, like what is the interactive mode and what is the scripting mode. Now see, this is a Google Classroom code. Again, I'm giving you this. So this is Google Classroom. Those are new, right? This is a classroom code. And yes, this is a classroom code. Those who are new, they can watch these videos and you can also revise the previous classes. Okay. Yeah, this is a classroom code and please join with this classroom code. And today's lecture also I'll upload maybe by evening or tomorrow morning I'll upload it. Okay. Yes, but you'll get first some 10 classes videos, but after that you don't get the videos. Okay, na? Yes. But all these are, I said, no, regular classes. And tomorrow I'll tell you how to work with which mode? Interactive mode and scripting mode. Okay. And what is the difference between interactive mode and scripting mode? And then we'll see Python fundamentals like data types and everything, right? But that we'll see tomorrow, right? So today we'll stop it here and tomorrow we'll continue this, right? So thank you. We'll see tomorrow, right? You cannot unmute. Anything is there, you just type in chat window. You can type in chat window, Aditya. This course is for 2 months. 60 sessions it will take. 60 to 70 sessions it will take. 60 to 70 sessions it will take. That depends on you. That depends on you. The way how you prepare, that much strong you will be. My side, I'll give you 100%. Yes, end to end. End to end means what is end to end? What is end to end? Yes. Admin is there, no down. Down one admin will be there. You ask. ఆ వీడియోస్ చూడండి, చెప్పాను చూడండి వీడియోస్. అరే గూగుల్ క్లాస్ రూమ్ కోడ్ డిస్ప్లే చేసిన కదా నేను. గూగుల్ క్లాస్ రూమ్ ఉందా? Not complete. This is Python, which include core Python and advanced Python. Complete Python package means what? Okay, don't put some